This sounds like a story that you would read, but this really happened to this guy. He was raised by wolves. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. Liz is so skeptical. You should see her eyebrow. It's all raised up. Why are you skeptical about this?
Raised by wolves.
Marcus, yeah.
Feel like I've seen a movie or maybe
Tarzan, and that was apes.
No, Mowgli.
What?
Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
Huh?
Mowgli?
Yeah,
I've
you're
always
right.
called him Mowgli.
Wait a minute. What did Ninja say?
Mowgli.
She corrected me, Mowgli.
Mowgli.
Yeah, and
you
Ka?
said, how do you not know it's not Mowgli? Don't they even say that in the movie?
Oh, I'm sure they do, but in my head it's Mowgli, so I don't know.
So Jungle, I barely remember Jungle
With
Book.
Baloo and Ka and Shere Khan. See, I know all their names, all the characters' names. And he was raised by wolves. This guy is trying to pass that story off. This is my thought process, my opinion. He's trying to pass this on as his story.
No. He was 12 years old. Was the Jungle Book character 12 years old?
He was a baby, but he was discovered, I think, 9 or 10 maybe, when he was discovered.
So for Marcus, which they call him the Mowgli of Spain, he was 12 years old when he was orphaned. She's so skeptical of this. And then 19 when he was brought back into society.
Okay.
And he says he's disappointed in the human race. He felt more loved by the wolves than... Stop it. He felt more loved by the wolves.
Okay. I just can't see it. These are wild animals.
Yeah?
I just can't see this happening.
Okay. Well, evidently for Marcus it did. And
Well.
he's 72 now.
So...
And still has fond memories.
well, that's good. I know. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but it just seems
you just don't believe
So
it.
listen, if anybody finds my glass slipper, I think I left it on the steps somewhere outside the palace.
No, that's a lie.
That's not a lie.
You just lied.
I did not lie.
That you shouldn't.
I'm being imaginative.
You have to repent.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
I am not a fan. I have this relationship with avocado, and it is, you repulse me. I do not want anything to do with you.
You just
I
haven't
know
had it good.
Liz and Scott are fans of the avocado. I mean, Scott is just like, you store up the fridge every weekend, right?
They don't call me Mr. Guacamole for nothing.
Right? And see, that's
I'm just
another
telling
thing.
you,
I
I
don't
love
like
it.
guacamole either. It must be all avocado
Goodness,
based.
I
It's just
ordered some, like chunky with some onion.
Well, you and Joey and the family enjoy that. You
Yeah,
just keep
Joey
it at your
is
house.
like you. Yeah.
Oh, for real? See, I knew I liked you, Joey, for a reason. I knew it. That's her husband. So there's a new avocado that's out, and so it's a thicker peel, smoother skin, slightly less creamy on the inside.
Then
I don't know if
why?
I'll get into this or not.
If it's slightly less creamy, then what's the draw?
I mean, I don't like that creaminess of the avocado, and it tastes disgusting
it's
to
a-
me.
if
I'm
it-
sorry,
if
and I
it's
know it's healthy and
That's
stuff.
what makes it good.
Right?
Yeah.
Really?
Because you can use it, I
Smooth.
believe it's Ninja that uses it in place of like mayo.
For real?
Yeah.
So that's Ninja's mayonnaise for real?
My egg salad.
Your egg salad.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
put it in an egg salad.
Yes.
Gives it a weird color, I'm going to tell you.
And
Oh,
I'm
it's so
sh-
good.
It's good.
How long ago did you start doing this?
Oh, maybe this year is when I started experimenting, but it's Dusty's favorite.
So it's a whole new thing.
See, I do the sliced avocado on a burger.
Ew.
Or,
Oh.
listen, if you've got a sandwich or a burger
No.
and you have avocado
No.
or guacamole
No.
and an egg,
Okay.
a fried egg
I like the
over the
egg.
hamburger. And so when you go to bite, it just all squishes out, and
Was that Jake who reacted to the egg?
I think so.
No.
No.
Oh, you did? I thought I heard a.
Who did that? Who was that?
Yeah.
Was that Scott?
Yeah.
Scott reacting to the egg?
No, that sounds good. Anything
I
with
think so.
avocado, I like it.
No. The egg. Forget the avocado. The egg thing in the burger is good.
I don't know about the egg on the burger.
Oh, it's great.
Until you try. Rob,
I love
you
it.
like it?
I love it. Yeah.
We're-
I like egg on burger.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm
I almost said
feeling like
booger. I don't like egg and
a whole
boogers.
different dish.
Oh.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
You've got to give it to Vince. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. So Vince is a pilot with United. He's on vacation in Hawaii, and yeah, you know what happened in Hawaii, all the wildfires and everything. So he has to drive through the area to get to the airport where his family is getting ready to fly back home, and sees all of the devastation. Of course, there were so many delays at the airports of people flying out, people evacuating, people trying to get home from vacations. And it turned out that the flight crew that was going to be on the flight that his family was on couldn't make it, which meant it was going to be another canceled flight. And Vince is like, listen, I'm a pilot. I'll take care of it. So he volunteered to fly everybody home. It was like 330 people.
Yeah, more than 300 people got to go home because Vince is like, I can do this, you know, which is super cool. So I don't know what they had to check, how they had to vet him. Is there a pilot's actual license that you carry in your wallet?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I mean, and if he's an employee, he's in the system.
Sure, because I don't think he was flying Delta, you know.
But there were times that there were power outages, too. I mean, so the
Sure.
computers were out, hotels are out, the power was flickering on and off because of the wildfires. What a mess. But Vince is like, listen, I can do this, so I'll do it for everybody.
But what would get me if I were a passenger on that flight is Vince gets on the plane, goes into the cockpit, and he's in his board shorts and his T-shirt. He's not in a pilot's uniform.
True.
I'd be like, wait a minute, y'all just letting anybody fly this thing?
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Possibly you're planning a date night for this weekend and you're thinking, okay, all the things like where am I going to take this person to dinner? Are we going to see a movie? Maybe I should pick up some flowers. There is a new trend.
Really?
A new
What's the trend?
So, get rid of the roses, the tulips, the daffodils, whatever, and just do lettuce.
What?
Lettuce bouquets are
Get
happening.
You can go to the grocery store and just get a head of lettuce and bring it and say, here you go, sweetie.
Yeah, I would not
Put it in a vase?
recommend iceberg.
Yeah, why not?
Iceberg
so
is kind of
easy.
stiff. So I would go with more of a butter lettuce, maybe mix in some spinach.
What?
So they can get
This
their iron
This
in.
is for real thing,
Yeah,
and then you
this
eat
is-
it? I mean,
Yeah, you
what?
can either, just throw some ranch on it, some salt and pepper, squeeze a little lemon, whatever your thing
Really?
is. And then, so it serves two purposes. First of all, you get to impress because you've brought a bouquet. And then secondly, you're starting off with first course.
Scott's off of getting flowers for his wife now. I'm curious on what you would get now, knowing this whole tidbit of information on your date night coming up.
Well, I'm still going to stick with the flowers. I'm not going to go the lettuce route here, so I'll go with flowers. But now for me, I'm thinking like steaks, like a box of steaks. You know how you can buy flowers and send it anywhere?
Oh, see, Scott
For
likes
me,
ribeye.
Okay.
I think the ribeye steak, nice box of steaks, and you could maybe pair that with the lettuce bouquet. Like a
Wait.
salad.
So hold
You
on.
could have a
hold
whole
on.
meal.
You know what? Forget the flowers this weekend when you bring your wife out on a date. Do the ribeye steak thing. I think that is brilliant. So let's forget
like
about
it.
lettuce. Let's do the ribeye steak.
So
do it.
now you've got to still make it look like a bouquet. So I have to ask, is it going to be raw steak? Because that'd be
No,
gross.
no. Nice medium.
Like medium.
Medium, okay.
So you need to go ahead and put it in a vase because the juices are going to be dripping down.
That would be
That's
awesome.
going to be gross.
That'd be awesome.
So all
Yes.
down her elbow would be, onto her dress. This is not going to go well, Scott.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. They had this dream in a community project. And so they made, how they have the, how do you call it? The share boxes for library books or
Yeah,
books?
it's like a library shelf. It's a little bitty library.
Right.
Yeah.
So they put this concept to a food pantry. And so they've built the structure for it. They put the food in there for anybody to take. And that's at a local, supermarket. Not a supermarket, but
More
kind
like
of a general store
Yeah.
food market. And it's there in their community. And this Girl Scout troop with this food pantry is doing a wonderful job with this work.
And they even made it themselves, which I think is very cool. Like
Right?
they cut the wood. Of course, they had help. Somebody had the saw. Not they didn't. But they made it themselves. They painted it themselves. It was their project. And now their community, in case somebody is struggling, can pick up something, some canned goods. It's all non-perishables. It's not going to be anything that's got to be refrigerated. So it's those non-perishable food items that you can donate or pick
And they've
up.
stocked it, too.
Yeah.
And so they fed it by stocking it, and then there's people that's actually using it and some people that are putting food into it. It's really good. So it does look like one of the book things that they have in some neighborhoods, only they're sharing food, and it's so great.
In our neighborhood, there is one of these pantry type things. Now, I don't know.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't know who's behind it, but, I'll check it out every now and then. I'm just like, oh, that's so awesome that people are able to use this type of thing. But there's typically canned goods and maybe a couple of bags of rice. And, I mean, if you have rice and some beans in there, that can go a long way.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Here's Pat and Carol Ann. Pat lives in the UK. Carol Ann is in New York City, and they got to know each other when they were teenagers. They were pen pals. Not email, not texts, but we're literally talking you write on paper kind of pen pal and mail it out with a stamp. Well, between the two of them, 800 letters now. They've been pen pals for 68 years. They're in their 80s now. And here's the thing. You would think in the past 68 years, they would have hung out and got to know each other outside of writing letters back and forth, which they do about once a month. They've never stopped. Here's the thing. They've never seen each other.
Not until recently. Anyway, they got together after those 68 years and had a meal and shared some memories. I mean, they have been best friends through this entire time and got to hang out with each other finally.
Who went where? Do you know?
I think they went to New York.
So
I
Pat
think.
came to New York where Carol Ann is.
I'm pretty sure.
That is
Pretty sure.
amazing. I mean, London and New York, big cities.
Big cities.
So Pat should be used to it.
Right. Yeah, they didn't have to be overwhelmed or anything like that. But they just went, you know how you can go to a restaurant and just sit there if they'll allow it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and just catch up over a meal. That's what they did.
That is so cool.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
When the FBI puts out some sort of warning, I'm going to pay attention to what they're talking about. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, His Radio.
Yeah, now there's a whole new hacker thing that is out, and it has to do with apps. Sadly, I don't know if you search for an app and all of a sudden you see like 3 or 4 that say they're the same thing. And
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, it's like, okay, which one do I pick? So like if Liz says, hey, you've got to try out this app, then I'll look it up in the store and I'll say, which one is it? Because you would know by the icon
Right,
that it
the
has,
logo.
that it puts on your phone. And so now, if you pick the wrong one, it could be a hacker. And one of the biggest things they say that you'll know that it is that all of a sudden your battery starts to drain really fast. And the thing has a ton of pop-up ads. What's happening is now they got phishingware that's all over it, and it gets all your info. And that's like so sad because it's an app and you want to trust that the app's going to be on the up and up. But now it invades your phone.
Oh, this bothers me so much. I'm like, just get a real job.
Right.
Why do you sit at home and just try to mess with people's lives? Like I can't even imagine why you would want to
So
do something
now
like
you have to double check every app that somebody tells you, hey, you've got to try this one because now there's so many that have the same name.
that. Yeah, and it's like spoofing. It is sort of what they're doing almost, isn't it? Like
And
cloning.
crypto currency and all that other stuff. I mean, it's just a pain.
It is a pain, and that we have to have an FBI warning about it. But thankfully, the FBI, government agencies are trying to keep an eye out for
Well,
these
at
types
least
of
we're
things.
warned.
Yes.
So now we know.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
You work so hard to try to get those steps in, and then they always change it up on you. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, His Radio.
Well, luckily, you're not getting more steps added to your day. It's they're actually saying that 10,000 mark that most of us try to hit, really not necessary. It's okay. It's good if you get them, but it's a lot lower than
It
that.
can be hard some days to try to get 10,000 steps in.
Oh,
I mean,
my
I have
goodness.
activity every day, so I'm doing some kind of something, whether it's spin or weightlifting or doing something like that or on the treadmill. But to try to get in what they say is the requirement of 10,000 steps, I'm like, that is Sometimes I'm doing half of that, and that's it.
Well, we had 2 travel days last week on vacation, and it took about 9 hours because we had the dog with us, so we had to make, quite a few stops. I can't get 10,000 steps in.
Oh, especially, she and Joey and the kids went for a big trip last week.
Yeah, and spent 9 hours in the car. I can't walk around the car. They kind of frown on that. The police do.
Yeah, plus her car's not that big.
No, it's not that big. So what they're saying is if you get 2,300 steps, and I'm at about 1,000, which I don't feel
right
like.
now?
Yeah. 1,000
You got
steps.
1,000 steps in now?
Yeah.
How in
Check
the
yours.
world? There's no way I have 1,000. I have
I bet you do.
685 steps is what I have. How do you get 1,000 steps in before this time of the day?
Well, I go to the laundry room when I'm getting ready, so I can iron my clothes if needed. I go to the bathroom. I'm getting my coffee. I'm, around here. I get a lot of steps in.
She must be doing a lot of walking.
Yeah, I guess so. But 2,300, they say, will actually have some health benefit. They're not saying after 2,300, sit down and go, oh, I've walked too much.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Here's his hobby, cracking safes.
Why? Like, why would you?
Why not?
Why? What?
It sounds cool to crack a safe.
It sounds cool, but why would you need to learn how to crack a safe?
Well, it's working out for him because there was this one bookstore. It was like, we've got this safe. We can't get into it. We need some help. Brick said, I'll come do it.
Yeah, but he didn't live in that area. He lives in Canada, so he had to actually raise money to be able to pay for the expenses to get there, like $1,300. So he gets there, he raises the money, he gets to this bookstore and cracks the safe.
Well, at first he couldn't. And so he went online and said, hey, I need some help in cracking this safe. He gets it cracked finally, opens it up, and there wasn't much on the inside of it.
There was like notebook papers. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
some
because
notes.
I think the deal was you crack it, you can have whatever's in here.
Well, but the bookstore owner thought there was going to be gold and some things that. Why? Like I read a lot of books, so it creates a wild imagination. So they're thinking, oh, treasure trove.
So, and it's a tall safe. It's got to be about 4, maybe 5 feet tall, right? And
Yeah.
then it's just about 2 or 3 feet wide. And so he cracks the thing open. It's really old. And on the inside of it, there's got to be like 6 different types of shelves. And on one of the shelves in the middle, there is drawers to open up, and there's not much in it.
He's like opening. Okay, somebody cleaned this out pretty well.
Empty.
There's some dust.
Empty.
There's a spider.
Oh, paperclip.
He found some lint.
It's like, hey, quite the treasure.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Excuse me, where'd all this ice come from? It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
Yeah, it's in the middle of a golf course in Australia. People are out there trying to make the putt, and all of a sudden, makes a divot, huge divot. Ends up, it is a ball of ice. A ball of ice has fallen from the sky.
And shatters.
Shatters. Yeah, it goes everywhere. So a lot of conversations were happening on the golf course. So what they surmised is that it fell from an airplane.
That happens.
From the wing.
Yeah,
right?
that happens.
See, I
It
think...
chars off the airplane because it's all frozen up.
Yeah, right, when it gets in the upper atmosphere. But anyway, I'm thinking it came from the bathroom.
What?
Because that happens too, don't they? Don't planes let go of some of that stuff?
It still came from a plane.
Okay, yes.
But the ice was white.
Well, because I think it is colored blue inside of an airplane.
The ice was not blue.
lavatory.
The ice was not
No,
blue.
it was white.
Yeah,
But
it was
it's
white.
just
So it's
weird.
not the laboratory stuff.
I'm so glad.
They don't leak that out of the plane like that in the sky. That's disgusting.
That's
Liz.
what I've heard.
No,
I
they
don't know that for sure.
Scott, help us out.
I do sound or feel a little.
There's a new
ignorant.
warning out now. Stay away from the yellow ice and the blue ice now, apparently.
Blue ice on the golf course.